Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the award-winning To Hull and Back podcast, proudly sponsored by Old Zoological Bar and Kingfisher Quality Fish and Chips in Hull. I'm your host, Nathaniel, and tonight I'm joined by Will and Tom. How are you guys doing?
Brilliant after yesterday. Brilliant. What about you?
Well, I'm much happier than we were after the last few results because we hadn't won in 6, and now we've got delicious 3 points away at Cardiff, and Cardiff seem to be we seem to be Cardiff's bogey team at the moment, so nice to get 3 points off them very easily every time. Will, how are you doing? You having a good time?
Ja, danke, that's good.
That's good. Excellent. Toll, wunderbar, and other German words. Yes, so I guess we'll just launch straight into it. Because of how well Norwich are doing, they beat Ipswich in I guess you'd call it the East Anglian derby. We essentially need to win every single game till the end of the season. But I guess first of 7 games we need to win, must-wins. We've got it. So, yeah, general thoughts on the performance. And isn't it nice to talk about a win after so long?
I felt obviously Cardiff played into our hands a little bit. They give us quite a lot of room in the middle of the park, and in terms of building up, we found it easier than in recent weeks. And obviously, first 20 minutes, I felt like it was the same old usual sort of pass it around and not really create much openings. And then, obviously, as soon as we score through Carvalho, I felt we got our rhythm in the game a bit more. And then, we took control of the contest, I think. And obviously, they had a few chances, but I thought it was an assured performance. And obviously, that second goal Carvalho scored, which we'll get into in a bit, was a great example of the football we're trying to play under Rossini, the quick passing through the thirds. And, long may it continue. But obviously, like you said, Cardiff is usually a team we do well against. And I think they sort of played into our hands a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they're the only team we've beaten 3-0, your standard prediction this season, and then we've got a 3-1. So clearly, whatever they're trying against Rossini at the moment, we beat him twice. Or with Rossini, beat them twice last season as well. Thoughts generally on that performance?
It was a very nice controlled performance. Cardiff played into our hands very nicely and sort of gave us too much of the ball really a lot of the time, which is what City want a lot of the time. But we played with a little bit more pace this time, a little bit more one-touch passing, and that showed particularly in the goals. But yeah, overall, it was nice to have a win, get back another win. I know the playoffs are probably bridged too far at this point, but it's better to at least throw the shackles off and go for it and try and just get as many points as you can. It doesn't matter that the pressure's kind of off a little bit, I think, as well, knowing it's out of our hands. And I think that helps City as well. So, not too bad. A lot of good performances. It was nice to see Philogene get back on the score sheet, though he should have had 2/assisted at least 1. And Fabio showing his class at this level again. And, of course, Abdushamir. Love that man.
Yeah, the Turkish Messi, and he's playing like it too. Only a matter of time before he gets his first goal in England. A little stat that I put on Twitter, which seemed to throw a few people off. Two fans played 79 games for City, 87 in England, and presumably a few more games before that whilst he was in Turkey. But 79 games for us. That's his first assist.
That's mental.
For us. He's got 16 goals, 1 assist. As an attacking midfielder, you'd imagine. Well, surely he's got involved with them, but he's more of a goal getter, isn't he?
Yeah, with the way he plays, I think he's not a creator, is he? Like, he likes to make runs behind, and he likes to get himself in front of goal, and that's what he's great at.
It's not surprising he ain't got even 1 assist though, innit, in all that time.
But obviously, assist for Carvalho shows that he can play them defense splitting passes. But yeah, he was great again yesterday. I think playing him off the front like we did again, that I think that's shown that it's probably his best position right now in our team. And when he's in the team, a little better. Like against Leeds, I'd argue he was probably top 3 best players on the pitch from our team. Anyway, I felt like he led the line well, pressed well, and I think we've seen the best of him this season under Rossini because he's got fitter and he's sort of adapted to this system. But I noticed yesterday we had a tweaking system. I think because I felt that Matty Jacob coming into the team allowed us sort of go to a back 3. in possession. So like, got to sort of give Slater a license to get forward a bit more down the right, and obviously Philogene on the left. I noticed that, and I think that sort of helped him play it up a bit better from the back. That's why we was a bit. I found it a bit easier against Cardiff, but yeah, so I sort of noticed that as well.
Well, we have tried to go to a back three almost at times with Coyle, the third centre back, but with Giles being on the left and Slater being on the right in the previous game, that's probably not something you'd expect Giles or Slater to do, to be the third centre back. I guess Seri was back there a little bit, but that's more when we have the ball. You don't really want to see crosses going into Seri and expecting him to defend those. So I was just looking through the stats as well, and I think I don't know about further beyond this, but Matty Fryatt is our top goals scorer since coming in as a January signing with 9 goals. Then Harry Wilson on 7, Carvalho on 7 now. Philogene's only on 9 for the whole season. Do you think that maybe Carvalho might actually end the season as an outright top goal scorer? It seems two fans.
There's a very good chance.
It's going to be one or Philogene or Carvalho, I think.
Yeah, a point what I made about Carvalho before is like, I don't know if you agree with this, but he's one of them players that doesn't necessarily play well in the game. Like he obviously does, but
he's always in the right place.
Yeah, it just pops up with that goal like he did yesterday. But it won't really. You could probably count on one hand the amount of touches he made before he scored that goal, and then as soon as he did, obviously got a bit more confidence. But it's just that oozes Premier League quality. I think that's the difference between him and Philogene right now. I think Philogene's still got quite a long way to go, as you've seen yesterday, before he reaches Prem potential. Whereas I think Carvalho could probably cut at that level now. I think the quality he possesses, like certainly in the box and the way he drives forward, I think it just looks like a Prem talent, and it speaks volumes that he scored 7 goals since coming in.
I mean, he could get his record that he got last time in the Championship throughout 40 games in about 20 for us. So, and some players you think, like Haaland, for example, I suppose it's a little bit like Haaland, where he doesn't seem to offer much off the ball. But if Carvalho is scoring every other game...
He's a League 2 player, isn't he, Haaland?
Yeah, I mean, that was a ridiculous comment from Roy Keane, because that's just not true in any conceivable way. Even his hold-up play is better than a lot of Premier League strikers.
I mean, if Man City actually get charged for their things, he could be a League 2 player as a result.
Yeah, for like a month or a week maybe. Yeah, indeed, it could happen. So Omer, pretty good attacking performance again. Maybe
he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. He obviously man of the match deservedly. Like,
so surprised how good he's been.
Magician at like 2 million. I think it was all quite skeptical when he came in. Oh, another player from Turkey, blah blah blah. But he's literally, he's like I said. I said this before. Like when he first joined, he's sort of like Bernardo Silva type player where he can play like multiple positions, like in behind, from the right. Probably can even play central midfield as well, like deeper. Like his second man press is unreal. Like, and the way he drives forward and
on another day could have had that trick against Cardiff.
Yeah.
To be fair,
hit the post twice, didn't he? So.
Yeah, exactly. And he had a couple of other moments where he could have had a chance, but eventually that goal will come. Eventually, hopefully it's on Wednesday. You're
looking at him like obviously with Morton going back. Obviously the lap's going to go back. All our loan players are going to go back. You're looking at him to sort of obviously Seri's approaching twilight years of his career. We're maybe going to have like 1 or 2 more years out of him after this year. You're looking at him sort of as a long-term player that you build your team around. From what I've seen so far, like how good he is. That's what I think anyway, because you can play them like if we went to a midfield 3 with obviously Seri, Slater and him, that would be great. Or brought someone else instead of Morton if he goes back. Or once he goes back, that would be brilliant. But,
I think when you look at that our best attacking 4 at the moment, you're looking at obviously ones that are fit. You're looking at probably Carvalho up front, Tufan behind him, the Villagin on the left, Omer on the right. I mean, straight away, 3 of those are our actual signings, so there's a great base from our attack to start with. I know. I think City will try and get the lap back.
Yeah.
For next season, they'll try in some way to get him back because
the injury. The injuries helped. I think, like as bad as it sounds, the injuries like sort of took the hype off him a bit because there was a time where.
This has come up before. I think we mentioned this before in the press room at City. Because it's of the injury, it's probably, like you say, it's probably helped because it stopped him from continuing to play really well constantly for the entire season, which meant if he had a full season playing like he had, he'd have probably been put in the Premier League next season on loan. But because he's had that injury, he's had a big chunk of the season out. Man City might be happy for him to go back into the Championship again.
Whereas Morton, well, obviously, you think I don't know, would you say ready for the Prem like Morton, like the way he's played this season? Do you reckon a Premier club would take him on loan? Because I think his future all depends on...
I think Morton could play in the Prem.
Yeah.
I think Morton could play in the Prem. Yeah.
Like, I think it all depends on like the next Liverpool managers, like what he sees. He's obviously going to see him on the training ground, and it all depends on that. So, but obviously, we'd love to have him back.
That could be a blessing for City if that's the case, because maybe there's an opportunity to bring him back again.
Yeah, because we've got such good history. Got a good such history of like learning players from Liverpool, as we've seen in the past and this season, that it sort of works into our hands, like when we get a player. So,
I mean, there's still always for Kevin Stewart / Andy Robertson.
Yeah, 100% they do.
Forever in debt there.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I agree that Delap, because he's probably going to come back, and it's taken a little while for some of our players to get fully fit after a long-term injury like that. He's probably not even going to play very well for the last remaining games. So, you know...
Yeah, we've got 6 games, haven't we, I think?
Yeah,
6 games.
He played very well, but he didn't score a huge amount of goals for us. So I think maybe if he did go up to a Premier League team, you know, he might struggle potentially.
It's just like his physical attributes, like what you see in the Champ, like his turner speed, his strength, and his runs in behind. Like, you see them being like a Premier talent. But right now, I think one criticism that we saw of Delap was like his finishing. I think in the box, like sometimes quite rash.
That improved as the season went on. I think.
But the fact he's like 21 just shows like how good he is already. That in a couple of years, like he's probably going to smash it in the Prem or another league in Europe. Like, he's that good.
I was say it was in the under-21s, England under-21s, wasn't he, before he got injured as well?
Yeah, he's
obviously trusted in that form.
An English striker age 21 and under. I can't really think of anyone, I don't know, better than Haaland at the minute. Like, that's not in the senior team anywhere or anything. Like, you know what I mean? I think he's like the next generation of striker right now.
Yeah, the other one I can think of is maybe Evan Ferguson at Brighton, but he's Irish, he's not English.
Yeah. I guess Jay Stansfield, he's doing pretty well.
He's all right for Birmingham, He's doing so right.
But I think both of them still not scored a huge amount of goals. Like Tammy Abraham, when he came down to the Championship, scored like 25, whereas
he was a similar age as well when he did that.
So yeah, I think that's the sort of season you would hope to get out of a player, a striker, scoring 20 goals in the Championship and then moving up to the Premier League.
This is what would hurt. Like, obviously, how many goals Delap scored? Like 7, 6 or 7. Like, the fact he's got injured, he maybe would have hit the 15 mark, and that's when you'd looking, can he step up to the Prem? But
and he played a lot of games out wide as well.
Exactly. Like, what would love is him to come back next season, score 20, and then they can have him back, and a Prem club can sign him. Or even if we get there, we could sign him. But you know, that's the hurt.
I still think with the way that we've treated Philogene, Carvalho, Morton, Delap, and all that, Giles even as well, of course. Even if we don't get the same players back, we're going to be...
We're a trusted club.
Top of the list for
Championship, Championship loans to get the best.
We're definitely one of the trusted sides for it, I think, in the Championship. There's a couple of them, and I think we're one of them. So I think we're looked at as, like I say, bringing in young talent. So I think we're lucky on that aspect. But I suppose in the same way, it means you could have a high turnover every season as well, which may be an issue long term.
And if you look at the clubs coming down as well, like the likes of Burnley, Sheffield United, and then you look at obviously the teams going up, probably going up like Leicester, Leeds, obviously Southampton no more unless they go through playoffs. They're much bigger clubs going up than the teams coming down. So like in terms of attracting players, we've got a better chance to attract like the better loan players, I think, than the likes of Burnley and Sheffield United. I think we're probably more attractive opposition, to be honest.
Allegedly, we were beating Leeds to every signing we made.
Southampton as well. Not Southampton. Was it Southampton? Who was it to Carvalho? Wolves to Carvalho, I think. I don't know if they actually wanted him, but he was linked. So.
Well, he's Portuguese.
They might have done his Portuguese.
Yeah, exactly. They love that. But I mean, to go back a bit, I think Amr has been infinitely better than Cynic and Pelkas. And obviously, I think with injuries, to a certain extent, it's not your fault. But I think Amr has come in and immediately been straight into the first team and done incredibly, whereas Pelkas Cynic coming over from Turkey, I think Amr has shown that actually, even in January, coming in halfway through the season, with the right attitude and, commitment, you can, come
Push
into the
on.
team and start pushing on
Because
and
I
playing
think
well.
with Cynic, what I'll say is like I think there was glimpses there of like a talented player, but it's either he's not suitably demanded to like the championship in terms of physicality, or there was something going on behind the scenes as to why he wasn't given a chance. But obviously, Emir showed that you can get talent from Turkey, like, and they can come across and hit the ground running straight away. Like, because obviously there's usually that skepticism with like talent over there that they're not physically able to adapt, but immersion that is more than capable. I think he's probably the player in the squad right now that's hitting the levels in terms of running and winning the ball back. So
yeah, if you listen to his interview the other day for City before the game, he spoke really good English, which is a good sign as well for a start. That he can communicate quite well with the players anyway. And it sounds like Tufan's been a real big help with him as well in terms of integrating him into the team.
What he said Tufan was his big brother.
Big brother,
yeah,
which is nice.
Very wholesome.
this, yeah.
But it also shows the way it's moved on, because kind of a similar thing happened when Tufan came, and it sounded like at the time it was suggested that I think it was Coyle and I can't remember who else it was. It was someone who's now left us. I've forgotten who it was now. Honeyman, I think it was. Proper integrated Tufan at the time and sort of helped him sort of get into the team. But it's nice to see that it's now moved on another level there.
Yeah.
And the signings that have come in since are doing the same again. It
does feel like the club.
It does feel like a great culture at the club, regardless of results and position and anything like that.
I'd also say Amir's probably just a better player. I think Cynic coming from Antalyaspor and Pelkas was from fringes of Fenerbahce, and that's why they gave us him, whereas Amir was one of the top
played 15.
season.
Played 15 times, I'm pretty sure, before he came to us. So that's not bad for. And he's got, I think, he got 4 assists or something, which is like 1 in 3 games. So pretty good, isn't it?
Exactly. So I think generally just very good player. So good on him, because even more difficult for him, he's never been at any other club than Trabzonspor. So I think that shows he really wanted to be here.
And obviously as well, you look at Touchwood anyway, like that. Obviously he's played a lot of games. I think he's like 24, but he's played like over 250 games across his career. So if you average that out across his career, he's gonna, say if you avoid injury, then he's gonna reach a lot of games. So like the fact that he's physically ready as well to play, like it's shown in his game straight away.
I mean, considering what happened the other day in Trabzonspor's game, I wouldn't want to be there either.
No, what happened there then?
That massive brawl. Did you not remember?
Days ago. I thought you meant like yesterday. Weeks ago. That was horrible, wasn't it? Didn't Batshuayi just karate kick someone?
Yes, he wasn't even going after him.
Yeah, he thought he was, but
it was hilarious. But at the same time, wasn't.
Today, I think I saw the Turkish under-20s Cup. Galatasaray won after 1 minute because the other team stopped playing in protest. Because of the
Turkish football at the moment's in not a great position, really. It's not having a good time.
Maybe a
that was doesn't it? Get more talent coming across.
Possibly, yeah.
So, I mean, we used to do weekly Malik Wilks slander. We don't quite want it to be slanderous, but Allsop, another sort of dodgy
I'm not slandering
goal.
Allsop. He didn't do much wrong.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, man.
We won. I'm happy we won. Same with Philogene. Should he have squared it or scored at the end? I mean, yeah.
Oh, he should have squared it. He's a silly boy.
3-1 up.
Especially considering it was Seri, who never scored.
Seri all season. Ballooning balls over the crossbar. He had a tap in there at his mercy and didn't get it.
To be fair, Seri would have missed, wouldn't he, though?
He might have skied it for all we know, but I'd rather him have passed it to Seri and Seri sky it than him just send it wide. Yeah. But that's not a surprise from Philogene, because while he has got all that talent, he's still way
He's greedy. He is greedy. Yeah, that's what the difference between I think where he is now and where he can get to, like in terms of his levels. But like he's only 22, so he's still got a lot of improving to do. But yeah, he was a bit. I think he was a bit more better yesterday anyway. But still,
Oh, it was much
I think since
improved
he's got
yesterday on recent games.
yeah, since like he's come back, I think he's not been the same player. But I think Rossini touched on that. Like when you do get an injury as a player, it does take a while to get back, especially like a young player as well. Maybe his confidence being knocked a little bit, but once he gets back to his best, there's no doubt how good he is.
When we talk about Philogene being greedy, do you know who the top assister for Hull City is this season?
Probably Philogene.
Philogene.
It's Philogene.
So that's because he's an attacker as well, to be fair, and he's like the one who's played the most.
To be fair, Tufan's only got one, so...
Yeah, but Tufan apparently doesn't assist full stop.
Yeah, that was his first assist for anyone in England for the last 3 seasons. That'll be so quite a surprising thing. But I mean, you weren't on the last episode after we just lost the 2 games. Playoffs, I think, mathematically, obviously, very still possible, but because of how fewer games there are, I think 6 points behind with a game in hand is a reasonable position to be in, but not when you're in April. I think we've left it too late.
I mentioned this on Humberside the other day when I was on with James Hogarth on the other day. Said if there was maybe an extra 5 games left, where we currently are, I feel still quite positive, but I think we're just slightly off. And I think, like I said, because Norwich are in good form, they're just beating Ipswich as well. And
they've got Wednesday next, though. That could be a banana skin, but I think as well.
They've got. I think they have got the best fixture list of the teams.
They're playing like, to be fair, they've got like Bristol City and Swansea at home. You expect them to win that. Both them games.
They should win them, really.
And then they've got like Plymouth as well. I think they've got Plymouth last game. Like Plymouth could already be down. Who have they got last game? I swear they've still got to play Plymouth as well.
Birmingham.
All the push played them. Oh yeah, Birmingham. That's it. Yeah, I know it's a team down there. Yeah.
Those last 2 games are going to be very interesting for us because we're facing Ipswich now at 8:00 in a game that could get them promoted, and then the following week we're playing Plymouth in a game that could get them relegated.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. If we are like, this sounds bad as to come out, like if we actually got something to play for going to that last Plymouth game, I'll go. But if not, I don't think I will. Like, just because I know it's good to go, but. I work Saturday, so it's like
I've made that journey. It's not the funnest journey, to be honest.
Start of the season.
But fair play to everyone who does.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Start of the season, looking at that on the last day, that looked like really difficult because Plymouth started the season really well at home.
They did start well, and then
so we could get.
They've dropped like a stone.
I mean, essentially, we just need to win as many games as possible.
I think.
The 2, it's obviously Boro and Stoke are the 2 important. Boro and Stoke,
this game, if we beat Boro 3 behind, I know they've got the goal difference on us, but that at least puts more pressure on Norwich. Like, and obviously, miraculously, if Sheffield Wednesday beat them and then we win at the weekend, then then I get the traffic going out again.
I'll be watching the Sheffield Wednesday against Norwich game on the Red Button on Tuesday, and if Sheffield Wednesday win that. And then we go ahead and beat Middlesbrough on Wednesday, and then similarly win on Saturday against QPR, and Norwich don't beat Preston. Then after those 4 results, if we get good results there, then I'll be back on it. But you essentially need bare minimum 3 of those to go well for me to think we have any chance. And the likelihood of that with our home form and Norwich's general form, I just don't see it happening.
As long as it's mathematical, it's always possible. It's just they're in decent form. I just don't think
it's the Coventry game as well.
As well as we play, I don't think they'll drop enough points. Even if we win every game for the rest of the season, I don't think they'll lose enough points for us to overtake them.
I still think it's one of them where like it'd be typical City, like they drop points, but we would as well. Like
it's been that a lot recently. Whenever we've dropped points, they've done, and vice versa.
Yeah. So, but
like it was typical that we played and beat Cardiff on the week that Ipswich and Leeds played our 2 closest rivals, and they both lost to them.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it could have done us a favour, but Can't rely on that. That's the thing that I said before. Like, you can't rely on other teams to do the work.
You can only rely on yourself.
Six without a win that's what's damaged us massively, obviously. But yeah,
pretty much. Will, what you're smiling at?
Nothing.
You're smiling at something.
No, just thought something funny, and now you derailed the podcast still stupidly.
Yeah, but I get nervous. You were playing around with the thumbnail before we started, clicking it on and off. It stresses me out. Can't be professional with this sort of shenanigans going on, you know?
Professional. That's a good one, that.
Yeah, I mean, Philogene getting his goal against former team, of course he's going to score against his former team. I think that'll do wonders for his confidence with Delap back probably for the QPR game at the weekend. For 3 or 4 games, we might have our strongest team that we've had in a very long time.
Yeah.
So I just hope we get to enjoy that. And
it'd be interesting to see like who drops there. Like you're thinking, obviously Tufan's been brilliant, so but then Carvalho as well. By form, like obviously them 2 central positions for the lap. You're thinking who's going to drop out, but I don't think he'll throw him back in straight away anyway. So it could be last couple of games that the lap plays. To be honest, like maybe.
Indeed, he might just come off the bench for QPR. I wouldn't expect him to start.
Yeah.
Philogene was able to start after his long injury because I think we had an international break, so we had a little bit of time to train. Whereas Delap isn't going to have that with all the games we're having in quick succession. So Cardiff, good win. Nice to enjoy a win, but still feel like a little bit too late, unfortunately. But
I mean,
some lovely goals as well.
Yeah, the second goal in particular was such a nice goal. That was exactly what you want, what Rosenior wants us to do. Exactly, just quick, fast passing through the defence and a nice cool finish. I mean, the first goal was a real nice finish as well. To be fair, I mean, keeper was close to the keeper, but he wasn't going to be able to react in time because he was blocked out.
Weak foot as well.
And the other thing as well, because considering we conceded, usually when we concede in Rio and last few years, you were expecting a second, but we responded fantastically. I mean, Cardiff kind of gave Philogene the chance to score with a brain-dead free kick. I don't know what they were thinking, or what they weren't thinking. But you take the chance. We took the chances when we needed to, and we could have, like I say, we could have had more. Could have been even more comfortable, but can't really argue with a 3-1 win away from home, can you?
It's just again like what I think it was Enship said there about we want to take that form to our home game. And the reason why we can't is we can, but it's just like I think away from home teams come onto us a little bit more. And
exactly, the impetus is on the home team.
Yeah, like if you look at how we played against Leicester, so much better than like Birmingham, who were just going to sit back. It's just
when teams want to come at us, that's when we play well.
Yeah, but I think this is where you've got Rosenior has to realise you've got to mix up a little bit and maybe play a bit more direct balls because we've sort of like thrived from playing like more direct, like when we've actually done it. Like, and when you've got the lap coming back as well, gives you that option to do that.
But you need the lap in the side to try and do that properly.
But we have got the players that can run behind them, I think.
So I do think the best thing that came from the Cardiff game was this picture I'm just showing on the screen right now of Rosenior getting that sign off that fan that said "Say no to racism," because fuck dickheads. Because we haven't really mentioned it because we haven't spoken about it that much on here. But any dickhead who posts horrendous shit like that and lets for people like Rosenior's kids to see deserves everything they're going to get. Quite frankly,
but the thing is, like, we're seeing his response was so class. Like, obviously, what he's had to see, like, so good. Like, just it makes you proud that he's our manager. If you know what I mean. Like, obviously, he's been criticised in recent weeks, but I think that Cardiff performance was so brilliant after what he just faced there, and and it's sort of like it was a fight back against those that criticise him as well, just to show like the sort of football we can play and hopefully that carries on for the rest of the season.
Yep, absolutely.
We were starting to get people going slightly ridiculous and suggesting that he needs to be got rid of, which I think is insane.
Ridiculous.
Anyone who thinks that's just being ridiculous, quite frankly. You want us to do a long-term project and then you want us to get rid of him without even him having a full season.
Yeah.
It's like,
exactly.
what's wrong with you?
not even had. He's been here
You
for
have to at
longer
least
than
give him
season, but
a full season.
exactly.
And
Because there's progress,
well.
and obviously we're not going to get to the playoffs this season, but there is still
we're better
seen
off
improvement.
for this season, even if we don't get the playoffs. I
Mhm.
think if we had
that build process.
got the playoffs and gone up, I think it'd have been too early. I think we'd have ended up
we're
like
not ready at all,
United
are we?
or Sheffield or Burnley would have got smashed every week.
Yeah, we would have had to do a Forest.
Obviously, the January window we had, bringing in the likes of Carvalho, Giles, stuff like that, has been good. But I think it sort of heightened expectations as well, because at the start of the season, with the squad we had, like, we was expecting a top half finish to be good. Like, we were saying, if we finish 11th, 10th at the end of the season, it'd be a good season. We're on course to do that now, but because of the players we've brought in, people are now expecting us to get playoffs, and we're saying, we've got the top 4 budget in the division, blah, 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 got all these players, but it's football. It doesn't sometimes work out like that. I think what I like is that we've got
one of the toughest championships as well in years.
We've got like a good plan in place. Like, the only criticism I have of Rossini sometimes is not changing it up a bit, like constantly trying to play the same way. But I suppose that's his style, and obviously when it pays off, it pays off. But obviously when it doesn't, it looks bad. But that's like with anything. So it was just I back Rossini.
Yeah, I mean, I did a April Fool's post, which was that I thought we should sack Rossini, and the amount of people who replied saying, "Oh, actually, yeah, I agree," was a bit concerning. I mean, we hadn't
That's social media,
run,
though.
but
that's social media.
Yeah,
social media always has the worst of people. I mean, there's plenty of good people on social media, but it always also has the worst.
Because we had our best run of the season. We had 5 wins in 6, and then we had no wins in 6.
Yeah,
but 5 games ago, we were saying, "Oh, Rossini's the best manager ever. We're going to make the playoffs."
it's just fickle, really.
He's the worst manager ever.
He got nominated for manager of the season, and I think maybe probably shouldn't have been, to be fair.
I mean, I'd say nonsense to that.
The instant it was announced, you went on the announcement of it, and there were so many people being negative towards it, like City fans. And it's like, even if you don't agree with it, congratulate the man.
Yeah. I'd say the Leicester manager has got too good of a team, and for the fact that they potentially might go up, he can't be nominated.
The issue with it is, in my head, people say stuff like Cifuentes at QPR and Danny Rowe at Wednesday, which is fair enough. Problem is, if you're going to do that, you need to have the awards at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because if you give one of them manager of the season now and they go down, you just look an absolute knob.
If Wednesday have been in the relegation
I think
zone,
Danny Rowe, let's be honest, Danny Rowe has done a brilliant job, but
he's done a fantastic job. As is Cifuentes at QPR, Danny Rowe's done a very good job and probably should have been nominated. But
Nathaniel, they were dead and buried.
Well, but he's only going to.
They were so bad. They were
going to have done a good job if he keeps them up. If
That's
they
it.
Go down,
if they stay up, if they stay up, you do the awards at the end of the season. You nominate him.
I think
Kieran,
even if they
Kieran McKenna has to win it anyway, regardless. But
I think even if he goes down, I think he's still gonna have admirers near the top end of the championship.
Oh, definitely. He's still gonna he's still in a good position himself. Yeah. Definitely.
Yes.
Not sure.
But it's
because there was like 10, 13 points drift, and now the level on points, I think, or close.
I mean, the bottom of the table is mental at the moment.
They were very bad to begin with, but it'll be Kieran McKenna. Even if they lose every single game to the end of the season, they've still got into the playoffs with as a League One team, which is manager of the season material.
Yeah.
It's still finished.
There's no denying that. Yeah. And then in terms of player of the year, who was it? Somerville, Clark. Who else? Clark and
Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah.
Somerville.
I think.
I don't know.
Jack Clark. Was it Jack Clark? Jack Clark.
No, it was Smodix.
Yeah.
Smodix.
Well, he's got
Jack
to be
Clark
nominated.
Should have been.
That's the top goal scorer. You'd feel bad for him otherwise.
Yeah. I'm unsure on that one. Somerville's very good. Dewsbury Hall's very good. Smodix is great in a lower team, so maybe Smodix because he's in a lower team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Goals for Leicester. Less so. I think he's their only good player, pretty much.
They've only been it goes down to the fan vote, right? For the fan.
I can't remember if it does. It definitely did previously. I don't know if it still does.
Yeah.
Tim here is saying that Mark Robbins should be the manager of the season, and he always does a very good job. Very good manager.
If they got promoted,
but this
time
if
the person got promoted.
But this time, let's be honest, he's had a bigger budget this time. Like, look at the players they brought in. I think that you expect them to sort of be in around the playoffs, so it's not really like a surprise. Whereas Ipswich,
I mean,
to be
yeah,
fair, with
they
Ipswich,
got a
I
few
think
quid for Gyökeres, didn't they?
Yeah, I think with Ipswich, people are surprised, but kind of not as well, because a lot of people, like the bookies, had them the fourth in the better markets to go up, like, or win the title or whatever. So it wasn't really surprised that they're in there, but he's still done a fantastic job.
Because on paper, their players, they didn't make many signings. I thought, wow, that's really good on paper.
Yeah,
but
I think it's just how the blew apart. They blew apart like League One. I know it's League One, but
they didn't even win League One, so I still don't understand where the hype came from. It's paid off.
The second half of League One is where it came from, because they had a bad start. That's why they didn't win the league, really. Plymouth did a fantastic job keeping them off the top.
I'm not saying they haven't done well. I'm just still surprised that so many people thought they would do well at the start of the season. But
yeah,
I thought they'd do well, but I didn't think they'd be in the
I need to go back to my
prediction.
I need to go back to my prediction, actually, where I put them. It's probably horrendous, to be honest.
I'd have put them 12th or 10th or something.
I'm hoping I said the one with dark horses. No, I've said that. I probably didn't. I probably said friggin' Plymouth.
Can't remember where I put City. I think, but I said
we finished 10th, and
I might have said 11th, which I wouldn't be happy at all with now. But yeah, we'd still rather finish 7th.
Despite poor form, how good our season's been.
Yeah, we could still get to 70 points. I think if we win 3 of the last 6 games, we get to the 70-point mark, which is usually roughly where you can get into 6th from.
Most seasons that would be a good playoff point. Yeah.
I think that'd be reasonable. And I'd rather we won the 3 home games than the 3 away games. But yeah, I think the difficult thing at times is because Vecino came in and we started doing really well at home, away not so much, and then now it's the other way around. What I'd like is we win 3 at home and 3 away, but just, have good form consistently rather than be relying on your home form or your away form, depending on which is which. So
we can't be Bayer Leverkusen the family.
Well, no, but maybe.
Are they still unbeaten?
Yes.
They're still unbeaten.
Well,
so they'd have to
one win away from the Bundesliga.
Yeah, they'd have to go unbeaten.
This weekend,
even Bayern, even Bayern, like that.
This weekend, Heidenheim beat Bayern from 2-0 down.
Yeah, Bayern are not good anymore.
Because of what Harry Kane.
Yeah, Leverkusen would have to be unbeaten and then lose 6 in a row, which is just not going to happen, is it? For Bayern to win the league. So, well done to Leverkusen on winning the Bundesliga.
Winning the Bundesliga next weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on them. So, Middlesbrough's next Wednesday night. They're unbeaten 7. They are currently above us on goal difference, but we have a game in hand. I don't know how Middlesbrough have come up on us.
To come from nowhere, because I'm pretty sure
under the radar.
A couple of weeks ago, there were people talking about Middlesbrough being dragged into the relegation battle. Like, there was 9 points above, I think. Yeah.
I think I said on this podcast a few weeks ago, like they were in that group that their season's over. So they're not going down and they're not going up. They're just in that mid-table group.
And now they've
hit a decent run of form.
Yeah.
If we have no hope, almost, of finishing the playoffs, Middlesbrough don't, because they have less than us.
They're in good form, so they're going to think they've got a chance.
But they have one fewer game than us, so it's not going to happen. But they can't even get
when you're in that good form, you're in a position where your momentum, you're going to feel like you can beat anyone.
It won't be enough. Norwich are going
to. I still think there's one or two slip-ups.
It won't be, but they'll still feel they can do it.
Maybe, but if they do think that, they're completely delusional. So
yeah, but you don't go into games thinking you're not going to succeed, do you?
No,
because then you lose 8-0 to Wigan.
They can win all their games. That's fine. They're still not going to qualify for the playoffs, even if they do that.
Probably not. But you're not going to go into it with that mentality, because then you definitely won't win every game.
True. I think hopefully the pressure is off us somewhat.
I think that helps. I think the pressure.
No, but say if Middlesbrough won all their games, to be fair, they'd be on 76 points, and that's usually well, I don't know if that's quite.
That's higher than we got the first time we got promoted.
Mm.
And we finished third that season.
Norwich are going to win 3 of their 5 in their form, I think. And then they'd be enough with the points, goal difference. I think that's the problem. Yeah.
I actually think Boro being on a decent run of form helps City because they're going to be a side that's going to come to us and want to try and win the game.
It's just the fact that like
that helps us because that's the way we play.
The 2 games we played against Norwich have defined our season, hasn't it? Really, like we've lost both of them. You know, it's hard to say both of them. You know,
yeah, we shouldn't. We're unlucky to lose the opening game, and then we were the better side in the home match. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's football. That's a championship. Anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah, indeed. So, Latte Lat, I think, has scored like 6 or 7 in his last 6 or 7, roughly.
He's finally sort of shown a striker that sound, I think, because I think Middlesbrough fans were saying that like he looks physically ready and stuff like that, but his finishing wasn't really like there. But now he's obviously found his scoring touch at the right time. So he's going to be a danger for us. But the fact we've got Greaves back, we didn't really mention that. Obviously, Greaves back against Cardiff was unreal. Great to have him back and was flawless again. So that's obviously a massive bonus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, talking about Latte Lat and all the good Middlesbrough players, good players we have.
Carvalho.
Have I misspelled?
Yeah, Carvalho.
I have actually misspelled Carvalho on that. Oh well, I've done that before. I'll read out the combined lineup for our lovely listeners. We've got Dieng in goal, Thomas, Greaves, Clark, and Coyle if he's back from injury. We've got Amur, Surrey, Morton, Philogene, Carvalho, or Carvalho, and Lat up front for Middlesbrough. So pretty Hull City heavy, but I think at the moment Middlesbrough are in really good form, mostly because of Latte Lat and maybe the defence keeping clean sheets and scoring goals. Obviously, the midfield.
I think of in their team maybe that I know they probably get anywhere. Like I mean, Isaiah Jones maybe has a shout, but it's who he goes in for. Maybe Finners has as well, but yeah.
I think Azaz form for
he's not really.
Azaz is part of the reason that Plymouth has gone downhill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So 5 Hull City midfield. I mean, it's a home game, so maybe I shouldn't have included any Hull players, but I wouldn't want to drop any of them for any of Middlesbrough's players. I'm sure they're in good form, but on paper, which is literally what this is.
Hopefully Coyle is back and raring to go and is feeling better. Same with Giles, because even though Giles had a poor game against Leeds, at least we have a decent. Jacob had a good game, to be fair, but I'd rather, as long as we have depth there as well, I'd rather have Giles and Jacob than only one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how do we see this game going? Because I think if you look at the last few home games, Birmingham and Stoke lower down in the table. I think they're probably both 19th when we played them, compared to Leicester in better form. We were closer to winning the Leicester game than Birmingham or Stoke, I'd say.
This is closer to the Leicester game than it is to the other two, because they're in good form. They're going to be looking to try and get the win. They want to try and push for the playoffs themselves, and they'll attack. And as a result, it'll probably benefit City in terms of our own attack. Don't mean we'll definitely win, but I think you'll see a performance similar to the Leicester one rather than the Stoke /
I think in the one. Reverse fixture, it was Middlesbrough was all over us, and then we just got that goal out of nowhere. Like
that was a very injury hit City that game. I remember.
I think was it the lap that equalised and 2 fans scored the winner. So that day, like they should have probably been out of sight, but we sort of equalised and then got that impetus. But I think that's how
we essentially played a makeshift team because we played we completely played our tactics differently because we had so many injuries out.
Yeah, because I think if we start well in a match, like we usually go on to win, but I think the issue at home we just don't get out of the blocks fast enough, and that's what we need to. That's maybe where, like against Boro, we can, because they're obviously, like you said, they're going to be wanting to get in our faces straight away, and that could open up space for us in midfield and get the likes of Philogene and Irma running at the defence. So I'm hoping that we can bring a similar style of football to what we played against Cardiff to against Boro. But
yeah, I just don't see us doing it. I'm not going to have egg on my face again after predicting a home win. Mind you,
what did you predict against?
I predicted a 3-0 win to Cardiff, and that worked. So I'm going to go 3-0 to Middlesbrough as my official prediction and hope that works. I mean, Will, you've been predicting 3-0, so that's what I did against Cardiff. So I'm going to go 3-0 Middlesbrough and hope we get another 3 points. Will, I assume you're not going to join me on that one?
Not that way around, no, because that's just being defeatist, and it's impossible. I can't be defeatist when it comes to Hull City. I just find it impossible to do.
I mean, I don't really
anymore. I find it impossible to do anymore. Obviously, I'm predicting 3-0 to Hull City. I always predict it. It's getting boring now that I keep predicting it every week. I have to keep doing it until the end of the season now.
No, but we won 3-0 and then you carried on. You was meant to stop.
I couldn't be bothered.
I mean, you won't have
next season. I'll actually predict them properly. Next season, I'll predict them properly, and I'll get less points. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
probably. Tom,
I'm just gonna. I hate predicting us to win because when I do, we lose. So I'm just gonna say I think 1-1. It's one of them games where I think both teams are trying to go for it, but as you've seen in the past, when both teams are trying to go for it, you cancel each other out, and I think it'll be 1-1. But I'm hoping that obviously we win.
Yeah. Cool. So
I don't get that feeling, but I've predicted us to win every game, and I've been right 17 times. So
you've been wrong more times than you've been right.
Yeah, but I've still been right 17 times, which is way more than I ever expected.
Yeah, I think it's more times than I've been right as well. Because I probably usually predict us to draw away from home and win at home, and that hasn't worked at all.
Yeah. It's so hard to predict your own team's result, I think. Because you've won your head saying one thing, your heart saying another, and invariably you go for your heart, and then you just.
Liam's gone
3-0 every week.
That's fun. We're not going to score 4 at home. We're not even going to score 4 at home in the last 3 games. I'm that.
I mean, you do. We have scored 4 at home this season, more than once.
Yeah, but not against them.
Just against garbage teams. Yeah. Sheffield Wednesday were garbage at the time.
Performance in it this midweek. Statement performance we need.
Yeah.
Show them Norwich we're going to chase them down, get that 6th spot. I hate Norwich. I just hate Norwich, irrelevant club. Don't like him.
Yeah. Nice.
I won't call them irrelevant, but I am sick of them being near the top, which I'll probably get clipped there.
Maybe. Well, Will, Tom, excellent performances from you tonight. I've been about average, I'd say, which is my average is wonderful as well, hopefully. So thanks.
Just like Ryan Longman.
Oh yeah, I mean he scored the other day. He scored against Rotherham. I was running around the house celebrating.
Was you actually?
Yeah.
I mean, he probably was. Let's be honest.
It was. Bit depressing that the only goals he scored this season are against Rotherham.
He scored that screamer, didn't he? He scored that screamer, didn't he?
Yeah, they basically don't count if you score against Rotherham.
Yeah, Philogene Roberta didn't count. Yeah, just render it.
Well, it takes it down a notch, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because it's Rotherham. But yeah, he really rubbed it in, I think. So well, I was celebrating that, but I think I'm a better player than Longman. I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah. Come on, man. You've got to say that.
They'll be sharing the Ballon d'Ors out between them, though, later on in their careers, of course. So, thanks for everyone for listening, subscribing, sending rude emails, as people tend to do. And we'll be back next week, hopefully. And we haven't predicted the QPR game. Predict the QPR game quickly for the stats.
Well, what do you think?
3-0 Will? Tom?
I'm just going to 2-0 to Hull City.
2-0, nice. I'm going to go 3-0 QPR. And hope that works as well. So,
QPR away was one of our worst performances of the season, so hopefully we do a better one this time round.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Let's hope. Yeah, well, now we've done that, we can end the episode. Ta-ta, everyone. We'll be back next week.